Today's episode is brought to you by Patreon. If you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/JoshuaVelas and become a $2 backer today and get early access to the new episodes. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below, but for now, on to today's episode. You're listening to the Augmented Experience podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Joshua Velas. I'm a student, musician, and a gamer at heart. Join me as I sit down every week to talk about all the latest news in the technology, business, and video game world. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is Joshua Velas. I'm your host as usual, and obviously welcome back to the show. Today's episode 140 of the show, and before we get started, we're going to do a bit of house cleaning quick because, well, you guys know we like to do it around here, and, well, yeah, it's house cleaning, so let's just get it over with. Let's just get it over with. I do want to thank you guys for coming back and listening. It really means a lot to me that you guys constantly keep coming back and you keep listening to these episodes, you keep downloading them, you keep sharing them. And for those of you like watching on YouTube, well, then you get to see my lovable face every time we do these episodes. So I do want to say thank you guys for coming back, especially y'all that are watching on YouTube. You guys, leave me comments in the comment section. You either like, dislike the videos. You let me know how you guys feel about the space. I would say you guys let me know how you feel about the topics we talk about. And at the same time, you guys, click the subscribe button and things like that. So I do want to thank you guys for that. The YouTube page has already hit over 30 subscribers. So I'm actually happy about that. I'm not going to say kind of, because why wouldn't I be happy about that? We just got over 30 subscribers. So I do want to thank you guys for, supporting me and also watching the show on YouTube, because I know a lot of you don't like using Spotify or Apple Podcasts or using other stuff to watch your podcast. So I do want to thank you guys for that. It really does mean a lot to me. I do want to say thank you to the Patreon backers as well, because, well, you guys have constantly supported me. And I do want to thank you guys for, being Patreon backers, and you guys obviously get to enjoy the early access to the episodes. So I do thank you guys for that, and you obviously get something in return for it. And if you want to become a Patreon backer, you can just click the link down below. It's only $2 a month to get early access to the episodes. However, we are working on new things for the Patreon backers. So we're working on new tiers, and so we're going to shake things up a little bit. But I do want to thank you guys, and yeah. And if you want to become a Patreon backer, you obviously can just click the link down below, and you're good to go and become a Patreon backer. But I do also want to say thank you guys. We're almost close to 2,000 total downloads before the end of the year. I think we're like at 1,988 at the time of this recording. So I do want to say thank you guys for that. We're almost close there. So, hopefully we can get there before it's over. But today is a special episode, because for those of us that are in the United States, we're obviously celebrating Thanksgiving this week. And that's why today I didn't want to do a tech news. I didn't want to talk about like something in technology, business, or the video game industry. But rather, I wanted to take a step back and do a real talk, but primarily do a real talk about Thanksgiving and what I'm grateful for. Because I feel like that's something that a lot of people have forgotten, especially given this year. To be honest, I get it. This year has not been the best to everybody. This year has had its highs, it's had its lows, and that is just the reality of it, is that this has been a very interesting year. And it's difficult to be grateful in a time like this, because there's a lot of things that make it difficult to be grateful for. And I know I speak for myself. Yeah, it's been hard to be grateful, especially on Thanksgiving, where Thanksgiving is a day where we give thanks to what has been done for us. And I know it's different for everybody, given your context of where you fall in your beliefs. As a person that is a Christian, we celebrate Thanksgiving as a way to say thank you to God for what he has done for us and what he has provided for us throughout this year. And to be honest, yeah, I get why it's a bit difficult to do that, because being a little personal, because that's what we like to do with the real talks, is just keep it real. I don't like to bullshit you guys when we do this. Yeah, this year has been rough for everybody. Like for me, it's been rough with school in regards to my emotional and mental health. My family, we lost my grandfather this year. And it's been rough. Like, I'm not going to pretend like it hasn't been difficult, because it's been difficult for everybody. Everybody has had something happen this year that's just made life difficult, or it's made it hard to be grateful for. But I always say that it's always a good thing when you can see hope at the end of the tunnel, when you can see the light that's there, because This is just a season of our life that we have to live through, but it's a season. Seasons don't last forever. Seasons come and go. And I feel like that's just something that we need to be mindful of, especially when we talk about being grateful. Because if we are not grateful for everything that happens in our life, then, and we only pick and choose the good moments rather than acknowledging the bad too, then are we truly grateful? I say that because, yes, the bad things happen, but they can also be used for good. Yes, I get it. No one's saying like, Josh, how do you take a situation like your grandfather passing away and making it something good? Well, a positive that I saw that came out of that would be the strengthening the relationship with my family. That we became much closer with each other, especially given this time where things are not so certain, where things like COVID are going on, where, the racial tensions rising in our country, if you live in the United States, and even around the world, like all the issues that are still arising and still going on, that this is just the icing on the cake, basically. And it doesn't mean things are easy. But for me, I am still grateful for all that has happened this year, because yes, for all the bad that has happened, there's also been a lot of good. I've gotten another opportunity to do interviews with TI. I've gotten the opportunity to actually choose my major that I wouldn't say actually choose, but I would say that I'm happy with what I'm doing now in regards to school, switching from computer engineering to marketing. I could be grateful for all the pieces of tech that I've gotten throughout this year, that I've gotten the experience to start photography, take it more seriously, get into it, have a nice camera, like obviously have new audio gear for the show, have all the new boom arms, have the upgrades to my computer. I get to have a new phone, which by the way, I got the Pixel 5. So, you guys can see right there, I got the Pixel 5, that I can be grateful for all the things that I've gotten. And at the same time, even just personal experiences, like strengthening the relationships with my friends, my family, getting to meet new people and adding them into the circle of trust. And I'm grateful for all those things, even though, yes, that doesn't mean things haven't been difficult. That doesn't mean that things have not been challenging, because that's just me being honest. Yeah, school has been hard. I was not able to focus in my spring semester because my grandfather passed away. I was not able to focus properly. I didn't really care. And then fast forward to the fall, things have just been difficult because I'm not used to the transition to online classes. And that has made things much more difficult for me. And as a result, I just couldn't handle it. I was not happy. And some people say, Josh, you're still single, especially in these times where it's kind of hard being single. And I acknowledge that. There's many reasons that I could say to not be grateful, to not say thank you to what has been done for me. But at the same time, I also acknowledge that even those bad things have served a purpose. They've helped make things clearer. They've helped me to be more content with my life, because I feel like that's something that we should strive for as people, is not striving to be happy, because happiness is a feeling. You shouldn't strive to have a feeling, because feelings will come and go. You should strive for a constant state of being, like being content. Being content with your life means that you are okay and you will be happy and be filled with joy, even when things aren't the best, even when you have everything and even when you have nothing. That is what being content is that you are content with your life. Especially for me, given the lessons that I've learned throughout this year, where I've had to learn to be content with being single. I've had to learn to be content with doing things a little bit more on my own. I've had to be content with being more distant away from my family, because now I have to focus on doing things a little bit independently. And that's hard. No one's saying it's easy. And I know you can fill in the blank for yourself. Like, I have to be more content in this area or this area or this area. Like, you can fill in the blank for yourself. But I feel like that's something that we should strive for as people, especially when we celebrate this day of Thanksgiving, because that's essentially what you're doing, is you give thanks for what has been done for you, whether it be good or bad. In the grand scheme of things, if you think about it, I would argue it's a good way to celebrate being content. Because yes, in the scriptures, it talks about, it's actually funny because people always like to quote Philippians 4:13 that says, I can do all things through he who strengthens me. But if you look at the part before it, verse 12, or I would say 10 through 12, it talks about being content. And then it leads into that part. And I think that's very beautiful when you look at it, because that is something that a lot of people don't understand, is that we should strive to be content. And I actually want to share this part with you because I feel like it would encourage somebody who is listening today, because to me, I feel like this is where something good will happen, to be honest. So I just want to share this with y'all. So this is what it says, starting from 10, because I feel like it's fair to give the full context. I rejoiced in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low. I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And I feel like that's very beautiful, because specifically when you start from 12, I would say 11 through 13, it teaches you that part that gets left out, that it's talking about being content with your life. And for me, that is something that has taken a while to learn. It doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just happen just cause. It takes time, but it takes a lot of reflection. It takes a lot of introspection. It takes you genuinely looking at everything and addressing it. Looking at the good, looking at the bad, not ignoring a specific piece and pretending that it doesn't exist. And it's funny because that's what we do, is we're thankful for everything that has happened, because everything can be used for good. Because I always tell people, God will take your mess and make it your message. He is the only one that can take what is considered trash and make it beautiful. He's the only one who can do that. And I feel like a lot of people seem to forget that, because they always seem to treat it like, oh, we should only be thankful for the good things and not the bad. But in reality, you should be grateful for all things, because that, I would say, is a secret to living a good life, is when you learn to be grateful and thankful for everything you have in your life. And yes, I know we can take this the whole route and say, well, why do we have Thanksgiving if we should really be thankful every day? Well, yes, that's actually true. I think you should be grateful for everything that you have, and every morning and every day you've been given. But the beautiful thing is that we as a country take a day as a nation and just say, we are thankful for what we have. That unanimously, we all together say, hey, we are thankful for what we have. That what has happened this year, whether it be good or bad, that we can say that I am thankful. Because whether you think about it or not, even something like this situation with COVID can be a good thing. That there's a lot of positives that can be taken out of it, because it has exposed a lot of things that needed to get exposed. And it shows the areas and the cracks that we need to work on as a society. And but I would say, in order to work on society, you have to work on yourself. And I think that's something that COVID has helped point out, is that there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the individual level. And to be honest, I think that's what we needed. That we needed to point things out in a, I would say, in a healthy manner, that we needed to point things out. And that's just the reality of it, you know? But to me, I'm definitely thankful for all that I have. I have no reason not to be thankful. Is it weird that this year's Thanksgiving, that, yeah, my grandfather's not around? Yeah, it's weird. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't suck. I'm not going to pretend that there's not a day that I don't miss my granddad, because I miss my granddad. It's my grandfather, you know? But even in every circumstance, and not even just me, but even my family as well, that we can be grateful for this. That this is a time to be grateful for what the Lord has provided for us throughout this year, because he has always taken care of us. He has been faithful to us to the very end. that he has always met our needs and exceeded our expectations. He has never left us alone. He has been faithful always, even when we aren't faithful. And to me, I have no reason not to be grateful. Has things worked out the best this year for me? No. I'm going to be honest. Things could have been better. But I'm still grateful for what I have been given. That the experiences, the wisdom that I have been given throughout this year that has helped shape me and helped me grow as a person, or I would say more specifically, grow into the person that I need to be, has been exceptional. And I am forever grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the friends that I made throughout this year because you guys are great. I love you guys to death. I'm also grateful for the expansions and the growth of the show because why wouldn't I be? Like, we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and I'm incredibly grateful for all that has happened throughout this year. The people that have gotten to interview and, people I'll continue to interview. I'm grateful for all the nice things that I'm able to have. Like, I'm able to have my job, able to have a good education, the fact that I'm going to transfer into a new field of study that actually suits me much better compared to engineering, and I'm much more happier doing that. I would also say I'm grateful for the multiple interviews I've gotten with TI because those things have helped me to get a good understanding of what a professional interview looks like and what to expect while doing those interviews, and make connections with people because they actually liked me when I was doing the interview. So, that's awesome that I've gotten those connections. And I would just say even the little things of being grateful that I get to have another day, the fact that I got to wake up every morning so far, that I've gotten to have all the things that I have. For me, I have no reason not to be grateful, to be thankful for everything that has been done for me, because it has been so abundantly clear on how wonderful my Father in heaven is, that yes, it has been rough this year. It's been rough for everybody. And that's just the cold, hard reality, is that everybody's had a rough time this year, whether it be losing jobs, whether it be losing family members, whether it be, mental health degrading. You just fill in the blank for yourself. However, that doesn't mean that we cannot be grateful for what has happened so far. That we take the good and we take the bad and we roll with it. It's not saying that, you just get over it and move forward. No, but you acknowledge what has happened and you learn from it and you grow from it. That you take both experiences, good and bad, and you grow from it. And I feel like that's just something we need to do in order to truly be content with our lives. Because I always tell people, I am not going to tell somebody that they should strive to be happy. You should not strive to be happy. You should strive to be content with your life, because content is a way of living. Happiness is a feeling. You shouldn't strive for happiness. You shouldn't strive for a feeling. You should strive for a way of living that is constant, that I would say holds more weight, that is actually fulfilling, that isn't just chasing feelings. Because I always tell people, don't chase your feelings. Don't. Inform your heart and make the right decision as objectively as you possibly can. But at the same time, as one of the piece of advice one of my mentors gave me, you have to learn to live with the consequences of your actions, whether it be good or bad. If you can live with it, cool. If you can't, then you probably shouldn't do it. And I feel like those words resonate heavily with a lot of people nowadays, because I feel like that's what we need to do, is we have to accept the good, accept the bad, learn from it, and move forward. We shouldn't just ignore one part and say, yes, we're thankful for all the good stuff, but at the same time, we should be thankful for the bad stuff, because even those things have taught us lessons that have been very important in our lives. And this year has taught us many lessons, and the year is far from over, so there's still lessons to learn. But that's kind of the beautiful thing that someone always told me, is that, Josh, you never stop learning, You really don't. You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be striving to know more. And that is just the cold, hard reality, is you're always going to strive to learn more. And for me, that's all I can ever hope for. But for now, that is what I'm thankful for. And I wanted to take this time to say thank you to all you guys. I'm incredibly grateful for all of you guys that watch the show, that download the episodes, that share the episodes, that, leave me a like, a dislike, you leave a comment, you subscribe to the YouTube page, whatever you guys do. I am thankful for all of you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Please enjoy this time with your family and your friends in a safe manner. If you're not able to do it safely, then you guys know how you're going to be able to do it. But thank you guys for everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Again, thank you guys for everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Please be safe. Don't do anything dumb. At least try not to do anything dumb. And I will see you guys next week when we come back to like our regularly scheduled program where we start talking about news and stuff like that, because obviously as we go into December, there's going to be a lot to talk about. So I do want to thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Hey there. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day and listening to today's episode. If you're interested in supporting the show, whether it be financially, clicking the follow button, or just sharing the episode, it all works for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I love you guys to death.